I'm shooting this on video because I'm tracking the sun on 23 February 2026, and the sun was at that beam at 3:34. It's moving that fast, casting its shadow. All the other side can see the sun. If I go up here, I can see it too. You should see my shadow popping up out of that line. There it is. Okay, so we're a little bit to the south still. Yeah, in the sun, which is now moved here. I'm going to put this as a marker. Nobody notices these things, but that might blow away. Anyway, I got a marker for 3:30, and now I'm going to have a marker for whatever time it gets to be there. It's 3:42 now. So it's moved a little over halfway in 22 minutes. So it's moving faster as it sinks because the angles are throwing longer. Look at the slant of these now. You see? This is February 22 slant. We're just off of right over there where the sun retreats as far south as it can go from June to winter, 6 months journey. And then from winter, December 21st, to summer solstice, I believe June 31st, June 21st, something like that. We got a new person, and I can read people just like they're made out of clear glass. She's moving quickly. She's confident. She belongs to that place. She may be paying rent. That's how an owner walks. They just moved in. China got kicked out. And the person next to China's in whatever that says. The next door next to it is occupied now too. Both of those are occupied. Both of those, one of those is occupied, a one bedroom. And over here, the door next to me, with the lock, the landlord's lock, is unoccupied, as well as that one. All of these are two bedrooms, and all of these are one bedroom. So the first floor is the cheapest. I didn't get a first floor because I thought I was going to have people moving in with me soon, and they didn't. My son did, though, and he lived up in my upstairs, and I lived upstairs. I went to the bedroom upstairs, just like I don't do now. I rarely go upstairs, and there's always gifts and surprises waiting for me when I start rooting through all the stuff I got stored up there. All my books, that's my main storage. That's my main problem. If I'm moving around, books are heavy, they're big, they're bulky. I carried 50 boxes by airplane to Bangalore to give those to the library there. And I was kind of still egotistical about it because I wrote Clark Powell on the front cover of every book just to know people to know what a great, generous guy I was. Oh boy, this wish for acclaim. Isn't it the oldest problem we have? spiritualized ego. That is the ordinary everyday ego when it gets dressed up to pretend like it's a spiritual truth and you're spiritually higher than that guy over there. Lalaji said, no one should ever think anyone else inferior. Something like that. Lalaji, his writings are coming through. Lalaji is coming through now. He's breaking out almost like a seed struggling to emerge from the soil, and suddenly it's there and it unfurls its first little seed petals. They aren't real leaves yet. Those are just to get the real leaves going, which soon sprout out of the center of the two petals. And the little tiny leaves, like say of an oak tree, they look like little oak leaves. It's incredible, right from the start. And it's just a tiny inch tall sprig of grass. That's what it looks like. But it's a seed. It's an oak tree. It is a mighty oak tree after 74 years. Not really a mighty oak tree, but you know, you can see what it's going to be, because these live oaks down here, gosh, so many beautiful ones I've lived under these trees. 150 years old, 300 years old, 500 years old. Not oak trees, redwoods, sequoia, a few others live to be 1,000 years old. These are beings that do not have brains. They're not animals, they're trees. And yet, do they have a consciousness? Do they have an intelligence? Anybody who knows. Yes, they do. And can you communicate with it? Like the Tirthankars of India? 12 of them, I think. I've got to study up on that again. These are sages who are connected to trees. Okay. Kanha is all about that. I can't wait. I'm going to be there in March 10th. That's 10 days, and this is the 23rd, so there's 5 days left in this February, not a leap year. I'll be there in 15 days. I'll be in Kanha. Hard to believe, because here I am, right where I've been, planted, not moving, tree-like, rooted, stuck. Yeah, that's more like it, stuck. Because I stuck myself in a hole and sat and waited to die. You know, the long suicide, the suicide by neglect. That was really what I was doing in a very long, 15-year long act of suicide. But I'm not. I got waked up by Charji and Daji, who appeared in that dream that I'm always talking about, that happened on 10 April 2025. 10 April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, January. Gee whiz. How many months ago is that? Just April. April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January. 10 months ago. I used to use all 10 fingers to count that. So 10 months And today is 10 months and 13 days ago. So it's been 10 months and 13 days of everything is new. I can't say who I am. I don't know who I am. I've stopped asking. That was my main question for 100 years in my journals. Who am I? Well, I don't care. That's my answer. I don't care. Whoever it is doesn't care about your question. That's who I am. Okay, that's enough for the day. I got to drop some wisdom. You know, I mean, it's being given to me. I got to try and give it to somebody. But, you know, the problem is nobody really wants it. I thought everybody wanted to know about God. Nope. They'd talk a good game. I mean, we'll say, yeah, I'm going to church. I'm singing the hymns and, you know, I'm doing all the stuff. Whether it's high church or Baptist, either way, you know, I did them both. Dauphin Methodist could not get more politely Southern, faintly, wistfully aristocratic as the South. We sort of look back on our Gone with the Wind days with that same Gone with the Wind mentality that unfortunately is largely racism because it doesn't acknowledge the pain and suffering we cause to people just because they came from Africa, where we had some kind of white, highfalutin notion that we were superior to because we're the ones who traveled furthest, all the way up to Finland and, you know, Sweden and all those places, Denmark, and further north, and where we lost our melatonin and became white because we didn't need melatonin. We had snow reflecting all the light around us. So Eskimos, Inuit, Tsimshian, Tlingit, all those tribes that I fished with up in Alaska, boy, those people were, they're different than you and me. They're just different. And they don't share themselves with whites that just come galloping up like I did, you know. No disrespect, that they just didn't know me. And frankly, if they did know me at that time, they probably wouldn't tell me anything. But Sun Bear was different. He had a different vision. He got in trouble with the other shamans, the big shots in the Indian secret world, for telling the stuff he was telling to white people like me. And he said, well, they can say what they want to say. My job is to give away. And my order is to give away everything I can give to whoever can receive. And I said, I respect that. I've got the same order. Who cares? Not me. I just told you the definition of me. The one who doesn't care about your question, that's who I am. The one who's asking the question, that was old me. I'm not asking that anymore. There is an old me and a new me, I will say that much. I ain't the same as I was before April the 10th. And look where our sun is. All the way. Wait a minute, I got to put the marker down. Jeez, it's halfway up. It's way past that marker. That's where it was just a few minutes ago. I can give it exactly, but boy, it's moving fast now. Look at it. You can almost see it moving. All right. This is me saying fare thee well, and I'll talk to you next time around. Bye-bye. That's my little, everything we make is an altar. You know that? You make a little special altar. Like, look at this right here. That's Monica's mother's ashes. And right over here, that's Sarah. That's my mother. So Monica and I decided to let them get to know each other, and they're just hanging out. That's all. The dead are not dead. Wherever they are, they're having conversations with me. And in my head, in my heart brain, let's call it that, because it's got to be bigger than the brain. It's got to be bigger than the heart. That's why we say mindfulness, yeah, okay. Heartfulness, wow, yeah, that kind of undercuts it. You know, that really, when you say heartfulness, you're including mindfulness. When you say mindfulness, you're most of the time excluding heartfulness. Because you see, the heart gives feeling to thought. The mind produces its thoughts. The heart infuses them like roots traveling water up to the tree and to the leaves. Where the sun shines, that's the Father, the heaven. Where the earth comes up through the Muladhara, that's the Mother. Earth, Mother. Sky, Father. Every religion tradition has the Father in the sky. He's ruling everything. Well, wait a minute. The earth is supporting everything. Come on. God is female? Great. It's a mother. It's Mother Mary. Come to me. Speaking words of wisdom. Let it be. And God is Father. Not so many models we come up with who can, because God the Father has no form. You can't think of Zeus with his long beard. Well, you can, but you're not. If you do, you're having an image of Zeus, okay? God is like your soul. Who are you? Okay, you're this soul. All right, let's call it a soul. That's a word often misused in Christian terms, but that's a most common Western term. Soul. Soul brothers. Soul music. Blacks take it back, man. Blacks change that language. You know, I'm not even going to get into black and white language. We're going to talk about that one day. But right now, let's call it a soul. To come back to the point. What you are and what God is. I was talking about that, but I forget what I was saying. I guess it's time to say sayonara and really mean it this time. Peace out.